glad to come home. I never ever want to leave. And we went back to Cumberland Mountain State Park in Crossville, Tennessee, which has become one of our favorite places to camp. And we use that a lot as kind of our home base when we go to UT sporting events. But this time, Mark had some things he needed to do in East Tennessee, so we went there for 3 nights. Had a really great time.
Yeah, like Steph, I didn't want to come home either. I could see where this full-time lifestyle would be very attractive, and I know we're not quite there yet, and we never may get there, but you know, this was just an extended weekend for us. But it was a ton of fun. We always enjoy Cumberland Mountain State Park, and regret coming home, back to the real world, as they say. But it was a good start of the 2023 camping season.
And we did kind of what we've talked about before in some of our videos. We're able to, because I don't work on Fridays or Mondays, so we were able to leave midday Friday, and it's Monday midday, and we're heading back home, so we get to kind of extend things.
Yes.
Mark has some opportunities to take some time off, and even though we both did a little bit of work on the trip, we were able to stay 3 nights, and that was a lot of fun. We had some friends that came up, and we discovered a new hike that we had never done at Cumberland Mountain. We did Pioneer
Long loop, I think it's
loop,
called.
or short loop, yeah. Or Pioneer plus Pioneer short loop. So it was just long enough. The first day we did it on Saturday, and that ended up being about 7 miles. And then we went back on Sunday because we had not filmed it, and it was absolutely stunning. We had no idea how pretty it was. So Mark and I went back on Sunday and did part of it, did about 5 miles, so that we could film it for you guys and offer some, you know, some pictures so you could see what it was like. So it's challenging enough that at the end of the 5 miles I was done, but not so challenging that we couldn't do it 2 days back to back. So
yeah, All Trails I think classifies it as moderate, not a ton of elevation gain, but and it does follow the creeks and the Bird Lake there in Cumberland Mountain. Super scenic, couple of creek crossings that are moderate, but ton of fun. And it was about the same mileage either way, but the Saturday hike we had done a couple of miles before we got over to that, and then we were smart yesterday. We took our e-bikes over to the trailhead from the campground, which was probably 1.5 mile round trip with where we're staying.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was early enough in the camping season that only like one section of the whole park was open, so there were some, you know, it wasn't crowded, even though there were a few little spring break families, we feel like, that were there. And that was nice too, so we could take the dogs kind of back in the back and let them off the leashes and let them run and play. And, you know, we ate good, as we typically do when we camp. So as far as first camping trips go, and it being just the end of March right now, the weather was beautiful. It was just warm enough during the day that it wasn't too warm. It was chilly enough at night that you needed an extra blanket. We built a fire and all those things, but yeah, just still absolutely love to camp. So heading into this is our 3rd season.
I think so. Yeah.
Our 3rd camping season. Looking forward to lots of great trips and hopefully being able to bring you guys lots of good footage of some different places. We actually were talking about this weekend. We plan on going to Arkansas this year, which we had not been there before, and Georgia.
Just over West Memphis, Arkansas, yeah, for a wedding, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to add a couple of new states to where we've been. So stay tuned for more great footage of camping with the cooks.
But wait, there's more. We decided to add some bonus footage today. We've never really talked about our camper or how we camp or things we bought to go camping. So sit back and enjoy Steph and I talk about a few more things that we just love about camping.
Okay, we thought it would be a good idea, 1, to show you around, because I don't think we've ever done that before, and 2, to talk about things that we absolutely are grateful we have and things that we could completely live without that we didn't necessarily need. So let's start kind of in our living area. We are definitely TV people. Not that we sit in our rig and watch TV all the time, but especially me. I love sports, and so it's important to us that we have a good TV and Wi-Fi. So we hotspot using the iPad, and then we just replaced our TV just this week, as a matter of fact, because the old one that we had moved around a lot. The brackets that were holding it up weren't great, and we didn't love the way it connected and disconnected all the time. So we upgraded our TV. So far so good on this trip. The other thing that is important to us, one, our dogs travel with us. So we have 2 little dog beds that we just keep in here all the time. They're not as large and comfy as the ones maybe they have at home, but they work for us and they can stay in the rig. And then also for me, even though it may be a little excessive and something you have to roll up and put away because we do not travel full time, a rug's important, and so it makes it feel a little more homey. So even fake plants make it feel a little more homey. And then, you know, the nemesis of all men in the world, pillows. That makes it feel a little more homey to me as well. And so those are just a few things that we kind of added, just to add a little bit more of home to the rig. The other thing that's important to me are appliances. And so in our pantry here, and one of the things that I upgraded to at the end of the season last year was I got an air fryer for the rig, and we use that all the time. Obviously our coffee pot we use every single day. And then a crock pot, so from time to time, especially if we're camping in colder weather, or even sometimes I'll do like baked potatoes in the crock pot. That's important. And the other thing that I have that I love is, you can't really see it on the bottom, but I have a large electric skillet. And so sometimes if it's raining and we don't really want to get outside and grill, and I don't want to use like the stovetop or the oven, and then that electric skillet comes in really handy. So those are appliances I'm grateful that we have in the rig, and they just travel easily, kind of right there. So the other thing that we added that's important to us is we added this Berkey, which filters our water. I'll be honest, I did not know what that even was. Mark got that for me for a Christmas gift, but I'm grateful because we do drink a lot of water, and that way we can be sure that what we're drinking is safe. Another thing that's important to me that maybe is not maybe as important to Mark is I like ice, and so we've been buying bags of ice every time we camp, but I think I've talked him into getting me a little portable ice maker, because that's really important to me. So the other thing to keep in mind, until just this season, I had way too many plates and bowls and cups, and I don't know, I guess I thought like 15 people were going to join us every time we camped, and that's not the case. And so what I did was downgraded, and now I just have 3 or 4 bowls, a few cups, a few glasses, a few plates, and that way we don't have to travel with nearly as much, and that's all we need. And then if we are going to have company, I can either add some things on that trip, or we can use paper plates. So that's important as well. Another thing that we travel with, again, because we have our dogs, is we've got this portable mat down here that helps keep their food and their water kind of out of the way. We got rid of the 2 chairs that go with this table. We never use them. We never eat at the table. We really use it more as kind of an office space or a landing place. And so that works perfect to kind of keep that stuff out of the way. And if we're going to eat, we're typically outside eating on a table, or we just eat in the recliners. And so it wasn't important to us to have access to that table all the time. So we got rid of that for sure. All right, so let's head towards the back of the rig and look at our bedroom and bathroom. So one of the things that we changed, again, at the end of the season last year, that has been a really big upgrade for us, is there was a medicine cabinet in the bathroom over the sink, but it stuck out pretty far. I would say it was probably 4 or 5 inches out from the wall. And so every time you wash your hair, you would hit your head on it. And so we didn't use it. We didn't need it for storage. And so we took that down and just added that flat mirror. And so that's been a really good improvement for us. And I'm really grateful that we did that. So, all right. Lastly, coming into the bedroom, one of the things we did immediately at the recommendation of most RVers is we did upgrade our mattress. And that was really important to us because the RV mattresses are not great. And we're not sponsored. We just ordered a memory foam mattress off of Amazon, and that does really well for us. And then also brought some pillows from home. Again, I like for it to feel homey, and these things just travel fine with us. This is kind of our summer grade comforter. I did get a heavier one for when it's colder, so sometimes we'll swap that out, and all of that just stores under the bed. So the other thing that I absolutely love, that I would highly recommend, because again, we do travel with dogs and it's carpet in our bedroom, is this vacuum. So it's the Eureka Flash. Again, not sponsored, but I love this one because this part comes off and creates a little handheld vac, so it can just suck up little messes. And so it's, you know, you can empty it every single time that you use it. And so it's been a great vacuum. It travels really well. We just lay it back here in the closet and it travels well with us. And then the other thing that is important to me is we got this portable laundry basket that folds flat. But what I do then at the end of every trip, because again, we don't store our rig at our home, is I just grab that basket, take it out, do all the laundry, leave it at home. It kind of sits in a corner of our kitchen, and then all the clean linens are ready to go the next time we get ready to travel. So that's kind of how I do that. So yeah, that's pretty much how we travel. I have also learned, I packed a makeup bag that's a camping makeup bag because it's rare that we do a lot of makeup on a camping trip, but I did want to have some just in case. So I can keep that, and we don't keep it in the rig because the temperature fluctuates so much because we store it, but I do have it handy, and so I leave that packed all the time. The same thing with like a little toiletry bag, and that way every single time we're camping, I'm not having to think about what it is that I need to pack. I just leave that all packed during camping season, and that helps save a lot of time as well. So we love it. We're grateful it's camping season again. We've had a really good weekend. So yeah, those are just a few things that we wanted to share with you guys that may be new to camping or maybe do things a little differently from us. So let us know what you love about your rig, what you love about some of the items that you take with you, maybe some things that we haven't thought of that we can't live without. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, so Steph shared some of the stuff we like and bring with us and learn like we need on the inside. On the outside, probably very similar to a lot of campers. Again, Steph said we're not full-time, we're part-time. We did the same thing most people do when you buy an RV. We probably over-purchased a lot of things, but some of the things we've learned over the last couple of years that we do use quite often are, one, our Blackstone grill. I mean, that thing is a beast. I mean, we cook on it pretty much every day or every time we're camping. It's a smaller 17-inch, and it packs away, stows away pretty nice. The other thing is a solo stove. You know, we got the bonfire, which is a good size for camping, and we've learned over time, although when I first started using the solo stove, I didn't like it because it took so long to cool down because it burned so hot, and then I would be out like till 11 or 12 at night trying to wait for that thing to cool down to put it up. But there's a couple of accessories that really made the solo stove really useful for me anyway. One is the solid lid, and the other is like a weatherproof cover that you can put over it, and you don't have to worry about it getting you know, rained on or weathered during that time. So those are two big things. I will say we bought a gazebo tent early on. I think I got that for Steph maybe for a birthday, and we've used that. We don't use it regularly. It's fairly easy to pop up and put down. It's a really nice shade if you don't have shade in your campsite. It's also a good kind of way to get away from bugs if you do have a summer campsite that's a lot of bugs, because it is screened in. So those are things. We'll walk over here. Obviously the video, excuse me, the e-bikes that you see in the background, those are two things that we've used for about a year now. The black one is mine. We just recently changed Steph's to electric. Again, not sponsored, but it's a little smaller and a little more manageable for her to ride on. So those are two things that kind of help us extend our campground range, so we don't have to jump in a vehicle, we don't have to walk 5 miles to something. They just extend the range of our campground, which is really neat, because they certainly have decent range on them. Then we have an outdoor rug, which most people do have, and you can see our dogs here. They're sometimes lay on it, sometimes don't. We didn't really probably go too crazy with the size of that or the expense, but it does get dirty and it gets wet, but it's very useful. You know, we use it quite often, even when we don't have the dogs traveling with us. So those are the things. One other thing we'll talk about is our chairs. We did carry the zero gravity chairs, and those things are just so bulky in my opinion. I have zero tolerance for zero gravity because they're so hard to pack in and out. Now they're great lounging chairs, but for just sitting and eating, they're really not that great in our opinion. So we have just a couple of cheap, you know, just fold up chairs. But then recently we did purchase, again, a gift, this Kelty Loveseat. And that thing I think is going to become one of our favorites. It's obviously a love seat. It will seat 2 folks. and it's easy to pop up. It actually serves a couple other purposes too. You can use it as a carrying bag to carry kindling and firewood around the campground if you need to. But that Kelty Loveseat is really a nice addition to our camping. So, I think that's about it that we have for the outside. Again, love to hear what you guys use, and we'll see you soon.